The survival games market has been boiling over a bit much these days, and hardly a day goes by where I don't look at Steam's new releases section just to see 2 or 3 more of the things pop up overnight. The market is saturated, to say the least. But that doesn't mean that they're all bad. Just look at last year's Shovel Knight, not a survival game, but it also wasn't cashing in on the recent 8-bit craze, and was honestly one of my favorite games of last year. So where does that leave a game I have seen pop up a few times over the past couple of weeks? Salt. Salt, as you may have guessed, is yet another early access survival game produced by Lava Boots Studios. But the thing that caught my eye about this one was sailing and pirates. I've always loved this theme for a video game to be built around, and I've personally always loved the incorporated sailing. It always seems to make the game world not just feel more huge, but more alive, too. Oh, and a small disclaimer before I get started. While this is an early access game, it wouldn't be right of me to give a full review of the game, as it's not in its finished state, but I can give you my opinion on whether or not it's worth the $15 they're asking for, in the state that it's in right now. Graphically speaking, the game is anything but cutting edge. That being said, the cel-shaded art style and cartoonish graphics, along with some really wonderful lighting and water effects, keep the game looking nice and pretty, even beautiful at times. And for an early access game, I was stunned by how well it ran. It kept well above 60 FPS with almost no dips in frame rate of which to speak. Now, the gameplay front should be pretty self-explanatory by this point to anyone who's played a survival game before, but if you're new to the genre, let me do my best to summarize. You are some random guy who starts on an island with nothing, who must find things in order to make better things in order to survive. The twist that Salt throws in is the ability to build several different kinds of sailing rafts and sailing ships to travel between many different randomly generated islands. This right away was enough to get me hooked, for a while anyways. For as previously stated, I have the greatest love for anything that lets me play Mr. Captain Pirate Man. The game will see you going from randomly generated island to randomly generated island to hunt some deer or pick up material or fight some pirates or other monsters with a simple but still functional combat system. Before you know it, you'll be picking up the stray quest or trying to earn money to buy that one item from some random NPC that you wanted, or sinking tons and tons of time into grinding for better loot to upgrade your gear and ships or whatever else. It seems like a ton to do. See, and that's the problem I have with Salt right now. Again, this is an early access game. It continues to grow as we speak. But right now, the whole world, while big, seems rather barren and unpolished, with most of the islands being indistinguishable from one another. And without the inclusion of a proper map system, it makes exploring this world more of a pain in the ass than the joy that it really should be. When you just want to find your way back to the guy that sells food, because the deer are too freaking hard to kill! Damn deer. For example, I found a guy in a hut on a random island who told me to go out and kill a queen spider for him, and then he would give me something for a reward. Okay, easy enough, I thought. I set out to find the spider queen, and then 3 hours later, I gave up on finding the spider queen because I don't know where the spider queen is at. To my knowledge, the game gives you no way of finding your objective, let alone finding your way back to the guy that even gave you the quest in the first place to get your reward. The whole explorative questing system that this game seems to want to have is interesting in concept, but definitely needs some more polish before the full game is out. Something that all these survival games share in common is the ability to craft your own cabins and houses and castles wherever you want in the world. That's why it's so jarring for a game like this not to include something like that, at least right now anyways. It would have been awesome to claim my own little island for myself and build my own fort, but there's just no way for me to do that yet. I can just place boats and campfires, and that's it. And yet, despite those problems and the things missing from the game right now, I still don't hate it. In fact, I find it quite absorbing at times. It's one of those games that I'm definitely going to follow the development of, because with some more time and polish, I could see something really special coming from this. The game really does try and set itself apart from the rest of the survival games that are available on Steam right now, and it succeeds for the most part. So if you're a fan of the genre, and you're willing to wait for more content to be put out, I can give this game a recommendation right now. Hi, Brett here. Just going to talk for a second. That was my first review, so sorry if it was a bit wonky. I'm not really used to reading off of a sheet into a mic trying to record. So we are a brand new company. We just started up. We have a YouTube, Twitter, Facebook. I'll link everything in the description. We're at pixelboxgames.com. Any support you could give would be greatly appreciated. I hope you liked what we're putting out. We're going to try and put out as much content as possible. Thanks again for watching. Have a good day.